Hey guys, welcome back to DMAC Customs on the YouTube. Dave here in the garage, Area 51. So this is part 2 of the, I don't know what you call it, cobbled together air ride system. Some new parts, some second-hand parts, some homemade parts and stuff, if you know what I mean. Last week we got the tank in and plumbed up the valve body. This go around I'm just going to keep pushing forward and see how far I get today. Again, I haven't got a full weekend, had some stuff on yesterday and a little bit of stuff on this morning, like finishing the ensuite upstairs. It's almost done, almost. But yeah, so if you're new to the channel, this is my 1951 Fleetline, Chevrolet Fleetline, running the LS1, step notch rear end. It's had some other body modifications as well as the roof chop and kind of a few different other things. If you haven't seen it before, go and check out the other videos and there's a bit of an explanation of things that were done. But yeah, so let's keep pushing ahead and try and get this air ride thing sorted. Hopefully it works, because the main second-hand part was the old style air ride technologies brain and leveling computer and stuff. The rest of it's either been replaced or modified and stuff. But yeah, so hopefully it works, and I did some modifications to that as well, so the controller harness, so whether that works or not, it's yet to be tested. So anyway, enough of that, let's get into this. Okay, so just messing with my compressors, giving them a bit of a clean. Can I get this one? This is a spare one. I bought a second-hand. This is probably going to come back and bite me in the ass, but I bought a second-hand air ride system, that air ride technologies thing I was talking about earlier. I don't know if I'm going to get this off. And it came, like it had been previously installed in a, there we go, in a 64 Impala, and it came with 3 tanks, all the old school, you know, heavy plumbing and stuff, and 3 compressors. Sorry, 2 tanks and 3 compressors, and the air ride technologies kind of controller system. And upon getting it home and then kind of pulling it all apart and having a look at how I could install any of it into the 51. Oh, gotcha. The tanks were just, they were too big. They wouldn't fit anywhere suitably in the 51, and they were chrome and rusting, and they had a lot of shit rattling around inside them. So I made the executive decision to sell the tanks, and I bought that little single tank that we've got, which is only wee. Hopefully it's got enough capacity to fill 4 bags at least once before it needs a full recharge. I'm mildly optimistic. And yeah, so this is what I'm doing. Anyway, this is a spare compressor. I got 3 with it. I was just giving them a polish up, and one of these little brackets is quite kind of a bit rusty on one of them, so I'm just going to quickly swap that over. And if I can ever get this undone, I think there's Loctite all over these, but probably makes sense because they vibrate. But anyway, I'll just get this swapped over. Well, I'll get this off and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. That bracket there is just a bit scruffy. When I've got a nicer one, I might as well swap it over. So I'll just get that done and then see about figuring out how we're going to put these in. Hopefully this one isn't. Oh yeah, got a longer Allen key. Helps for leverage. Quite a while back I did a bit of testing on these compressors, and by testing I just kind of hooked them up to the battery and just picked the 2 that kind of sounded the best. One of them I think sounded a little less vivacious, if that's the right word. So I chose the other 2, which is this one and another one that's on the floor. And then this morning somehow I had them all muddled up. I couldn't figure out why one of them had a bit of the filter housing missing, and I was sure I had fixed that up, and then I noticed I had written spare on one of them in very weak Sharpie. So just a little story, just keep you entertained while I'm trying to undo this, but I think I'll switch the camera off and wait until I've got this on the other compressor. Right, put a little dribble on there, some perma-lock. In theory, is this blocked? Of course it is. What have I got? Sharp and pointy. Damn it. Back in a sec. That's the washing machine. Okay, that was my knees. Now we're talking. Still the washing machine. Right, so let's put this on. Which way does it go? That way. From the back, yep. Come on, get started. That's it. Where's the Allen key? Still the washing machine. It's a weekend, man. We got to do washing. Okay, that's that swapped over. I'm going to get rid of the other one so it doesn't get confused. Okay, that's my compressors kind of cleaned up. Now they've got kind of greasy handprints and they'll load them again, but the other thing with them is that they originally had these little, my knees again, these little rubber feet, and they're all perished and degraded and stuff, so I was thinking I might just try putting some grommets through those holes so they're kind of like a rubber mount. I'll show you what I mean. Like, I think that size, the 6mm goes through here. Yeah, so like that. So I'll see if I can get these grommets through those holes. So I might take the whole container with me, be easier, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, they're a bit of a tight fit, but they can get in there. Whether I can get a bolt through them again afterwards, actually I should check that before I go mental and do all of them. Okay, I better get a bolt and check that. Let's have a look. Alrighty, so the bolts fit through, but they're going to have to be screwed down with it, so they're a little bit snug. Guess the next question is, which way did I decide that these were going to mount? Facing out the ways? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so the bolts I bought are like way too long to kind of get past the compressor thing. So I was going to use stainless button heads on there, but I changed my mind. They're a freaking pain to get to, like in awkward places with the Allen key, so I've got some just normal hex heads. They're just zinc, so I'm going to cut those down, cut about 10mm off them, and yeah, clean them up and get them a bit shorter, and then they should be good. Okay, so when I have to shorten bolts that I ordered wrong, or I've scavenged through my little bolt bin and all I've got is something that's too long and I just cut them off, I just give them a little whiz around on the old flat disc just to kind of give them, you know, take the gnarliness off, like from the cut, so when you go to try and sort of thread them in, they've got a better chance of finding their thread from the get-go. You can get a special tool that you just put it on a drill and it just goes and it like cleans that up and you're good to go, but I haven't got one of those, so I just use the old flat disc on the grinder. Works quite well most of the time. Anyway, I'll get ahead, get all the rest of these done, then hopefully then we'll be able to go and bolt these compressors in. Right. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, so if that goes like that, and that'll go like that, and then the wiring will run across the back. Yeah, or did I have them the other way? Because I've got a bolt, it's got to get in there. Maybe I need to put that cover on first. Of course I do. Okay, let's push that back out of the way. Okay, so we'll put this front cover on. But before I do that, I'm going to put some more of that little foam seal stuff on the back of this, just to kind of seal things up a little bit. Got a little thing there, I'll just put that in there for now. It's pretty much where it's going to go. Save that little bit there for another day. But yeah, so I just got to stick some foamy stuff on here. I think I might maybe just run it around this outer edge and then a bit up under there. I'll just double check. Yeah, something like that. So I can have it come down right around that edge and around the corner. Right around here. Can I get it to go around corners? That's the next question. Possibly not. Maybe if I put little nicks in it, we might be able to do it. No, we should be alright. We'll get around the corner. Sweet as. Alright, hopefully that's all good. It's not going to cut out everything completely, like make it airtight, but it's, you know, the idea is just to kind of eliminate something, you know, maybe less rattling or something like that, I don't know. But we'll go and put this on now. Hopefully those birds will shut up. They've been especially noisy. I don't even know what kind of birds they are, but they got a horrible screech. Need one of those bird cannons. Scare them suckers away like they do at the airport. Okay, so problem. I don't know if you've seen on the camera when I was tightening that one up, it just went down and grabbed and kind of the bit stuck in it and stuff. What happened was it actually chewed up the inside of the button head, and then I decided to loosen them all off just to push it sideways a little bit, and yeah, no, that's actually all chewed up now, so now I have to figure out how to get that out. So I think I might be doing some drilling or something like that, because it's tight. I tried just getting in there with an Allen key to get a little bit deeper in or something, and yeah, she's cooked, man, and she's tight. I wonder if I can get a bit of a bend on it. No, look, scratch choice. Yeah, I wonder, oh, maybe I could cut a slot in it and try a screwdriver. Be very careful zip disking. I'll give that a try before I try anything else. Yes! Okay, so I had to take the whole panel back off. Sorry, just in that. And moved the rubber that I put up here. I've moved it down onto here because it was kind of making this too high, so none of these would line up. It was kind of pulling it up, which was not really what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? And so getting these, where's my thing gone? There it is. Uh-oh. Why is that not lining up? Anyway, moving on. Let's see if these ones will line up now. Okay. Oh man, it's only taken me about an hour to get those button heads all lined up in the correct order that they have to be sequenced down into, and get 3 out of the 4 bolts into that compressor. The 4th's not happening. I don't know what. It used to all fit, now it doesn't. So I had to re-tap things and just clear things and stuff like that. It's probably a bit of paint build up or something in there, and adding that, what do you call it, that rubber, the stuff that stuck to my hand, adding that into the mix potentially has complicated things. So sort of tightening everything up for the final time is it's been a bit of a struggle. I've still got 1 compressor to go, let alone wiring and stuff like that. So I'll get this other compressor bolted in, and then what's after that? Oh, I've got to plumb them in. And then what's after that? Still got to do an exhaust yet. I don't know where I'm going to do with that. Like, you know, like an outlet for the air. At the moment it'll just exit into up there. I really should kind of run it in a hose and run it down out of somewhere. I should have drilled a hole in this that I could run it out of before I put it in, but I wasn't really thinking that far ahead. You know, my mock-up way back when only got me mocked up so far. Anyway, get this compressor in. Okay, so got that compressor in. 3 out of the 4 bolts. I just could not get to the back corner one, which I could on this side, strangely enough, but just not on that side. The computer thing kind of made it a bit harder to access. I'm thinking maybe I planned on bolting all this stuff onto that panel and then putting it in the car, because I'm normally trying really hard to make things serviceable, but I just could not get things to go, like just access, get these my mitts in there to sort it out. But next up I've got to run some wiring up the front. Now if you're new to the channel, the last lot of wiring kind of comes up over the wheel tubs there, so I'm just going to tape these together a bit and not loom them together all the way, but I'll just tape them together a bit so I can run this mess right up the front, and I'll show you where all that kind of comes together. And then we've got to put this solenoid relay thing and do something with that fuse panel too. I'm thinking I might just put it up on that ledge up there, and then I can run, you know, it'll be fairly easy to mount and fairly easy to access the fuse panel, that is. I'll show you when we get that far. But yeah, for now I'm just going to put some, you know, tie these together so I can feed them through up the front. I probably should feed my big power cable through as well. So I'm wondering whether to use that big mamma jamma for the, you know, the main battery power. I probably should. Hopefully it's long enough. Better have a look. I'm gonna feed this all the way up there. Now this is my controller wire. I'm standing on it at the other end and kind of taped it to all my power and stuff. Get in there. See if I can reach it now. That battery cable should be long enough, but I won't feed that through with all of this stuff. It'll just get a bit kind of cumbersome. Let's see whether... Oh, look at that, there it is there. Perfect. So that's going to come down and come out this little grommet hole here, you see? I need 2 hands. Too much, I think. Alright, go and have a look up here. I don't want it tight. Where is it? Let's put it a little bit back, I think. Is that enough? Have a look and yeah. Heaps. Right, might just send a little bit back. Yeah, about there, I reckon. Let's pull a little bit back there. Yeah, that'll be right. Now I'll just feed my big red cable through. I'm going to put this, it's already got an eyelet on there, so that'll get me onto my post. I'm thinking I might put it down on that kind of terminal by the mega fuse. You know, go through the firewall and just hook onto there on the battery side of that. Or should I go on the fuse side of it? I mean, this is going to have a 30 amp. 30 amp? I don't have big fuses on it anyway. I don't know what they're rated at, those big mamma jammas, but I don't know. It's a bit Scody, this thing, but I haven't really got anything else unless I make a new base for it. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to run this through there as well. there. That was awesome. Okay, before I go too much further, I'm gonna fit these to the compressors to the tank, like so. Oh, come on. Playing that one, hopefully it's all good. Okay, so that's the pumps all plumbed in. A bit concerned about that little swivelly, it's my knees, unit on the that side of the pump under the gauge there. It's a bit wiggly. Whether it holds air or not, time will tell. Just looking at this fuse thing, I was looking up diagrams and stuff on the old interweb, and you know, to see how this triple fuse thing kind of comes into the equation. And I don't know really I need this triple fuse thing. It's a bit, I mean, I need a fuse, but this is a bit kind of much. Whereas everything I've sort of seen online, you have like a main fuse from between the battery and the pump relay sort of thing. Now I'm using this solenoid here, so it was all still wired together when I got it, so I labeled it. So that's my battery, so that would, you know, between here and the battery I'd have a fuse, and then this is my two red wires off the pumps will come to this post here, and the blue, see I've got blue and ground there, so maybe, you know, that blue wire will go there, the orange wire will go there, and you know, possibly I don't know. And then that red wire there is a battery, 12 volt battery, so that'll just go to the battery post with the main power. So I'm thinking of not putting this in, but getting just a single kind of fuse holder type of thing, whether I've got one that's kind of grunty enough, because I was thinking that we would be, this might be kind of between the relay and the pumps, if you know what I mean. So we would have, like, you know, that 12 volts coming to the battery, straight from the battery to there, no fuse, and then out the other side. Yeah, no, that wouldn't work. So I have something I can have a quick look at. The old Mazda behind us here used to have a subwoofery thing in the back, and the old owner took it out when he sold me the car, but he left the big cable that runs up the front to the battery. So I'm going to have a look at that and see. So I know it's got an inline fuse on it, see whether maybe that's something I can snag, and instead of putting that big jumper cable in there, I can use this other cable. It should be rated. I'll have a look. Alright, just it's a rocky little Mazda. It's been pissing down a lot here lately, and this thing leaks like a sieve. Got this, and it's got a fuse buried down in here. If I can get it out, maybe I jammed it in there. How do these come apart? So it looks like a got the same kind of size fuse. Just know whether I get this out of here. Where does it come through? Does that just clip on? Some pedantic bugger's gone and zip tied it all. Oh, I'll see if I can feed it out. It ends up down here. Got a slight escalation in the situation. I wonder if I should just get some side cutters and cut all those zip ties. Probably just pull the whole lot if I can. Oh, what's that one? Where does that go? I don't know. It doesn't come in through here, so I don't know where that goes. Might be a ground or something. Okay, so I should be able to, at this point, leave this automobile with this big red cable. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Okay, so this appears to be 6 gauge, and according to the interneting that I did the other day, I need about 8 gauge, this is thicker, so this should be plenty for my compressors and stuff to run on. I don't need to go like full welding cable like that big red one that I fed through before. So I'm going to pull that one out and feed this man a jammer in, and yeah, I'll have the fuse down at the compressor end, I think, rather than up under the dash and stuff. So we have it. Yeah, so according to the, I did some googling anyway on looking up how heavy a cable I need to run these 2 compressors in this system. And yeah, the kind of consensus kind of came back at 8 gauge, which is like 3 point something or other millimeters in diameter, not cubic, squared. And this is about 5 millimeters, like 4.8. So I think this is actually 6 gauge. Just so you know. But I'm going to use it. I'm just going to use that other cable as a draw cable. Even though it's easy enough to feed it through, I just thought I'd do that as a thing to do, you know what I'm saying? 1 barrel. There's that fuse. Get rid of that. Big sucker, get that out here. Okay, so now let's have a look at this. See, it's going to be my battery on here, like so. So that is going to go up there. So on. Just working out where to tighten it. So I'll tighten that about there. Here. Nope. Crank that up there. Now, so this orange and blue, they go onto those. And then this will go onto there. And I've got ground on here, but I've also got ground on there, so I'm wondering whether I need, no, because that's isolated. Yeah, and this will ground off the body. So that ground, I think I just need to ground to body or something, and that I've got 12-volt battery. So I probably should put that on there as well. So I need to maybe shorten that up somewhat. Okay, hey, just laying around in the boot again. That's that solenoid all bolted up. The only thing left to hook up onto that is my power from both the compressors, but I think I might cut that manky bit of blue wire off and maybe do some soldering and solder some new stuff on. Might be the way to go, eh? Cleaner. I can't remember, there's a similar kind of scenario over the other side. Yeah, there it is there, through there. So, and then I have to do some, put my grounds in as well. So I'll probably just relocate the grounds up into there. Okay, so where's the end of that gone? Already tinned that. Found some kind of fairly grunty wire that I'm going to use for the compressors. This compressor over here already had a join in it, like quite short, so I'm having to work with that. Should have done this before I put it in, but you know how it is. Yeah, that's not going to hold. Should, I don't know, I've got a tool for this. Okay, I'll try again. Solder 9, solder. Might be it. Yeah. Gosh, it's hot. Well, I need to shrink a bit more. Might be it. Okay, so just got to rinse and repeat with the other side. I wonder if I can do that from in here. Might be easier. Yeah, do it in here. Cut that off. Use my solder. Come on, heat up. Oh, there we go. this. What should I turn this? Oh, mustn't have. Right. Ow! Come on. Now, there's my solder. Okay, so I've just been wrestling this wire around, so I'm gonna want to have enough room that I can kind of pin it back comfortably, sort of thing. So I'll probably force that back about there, maybe cut them about there, and then put eyelets on. There and there. Oh, I need some more heat shrink actually. Probably not this bigger piece. Just going to use black heat shrink because I haven't got any red in this size. So that's why, in case you're wondering. A couple of these, this size. I always pull these big yellow things off because I reckon they're ugly. Oh, they might be. This cable's too big to get through here. What am I going to do there? Yeah, just had to pluck a couple of strands out of there and screw it on. Right, next one. Alright, I'll just get those attached up to my bottom post on my little solenoid thing there. It's like a Ford style solenoid. I don't really kind of know how they work, but I'm not that savvy with relays and shit anyway, so I haven't actually looked it up. I just must have done some research or just made some notes on this when I pulled it all apart after I bought this system. So anyway, this wire here isn't particularly flexible. Come on, get in there, dirty, rotten pig. Oh, I need to see better. Sorry guys, you can, I'll show you. Guns are in, power supply is hooked up down here. Still got to tidy all of this up. This is all gonna get, not loomed, but it'll just get all zip tied up tighter, you know, so it's a bit more not just bird's nesty. Same over the back here. Got some little doohickeys that I can use to clip that wire up and get it tidy, but that's next week's job. I'm running out of day and I've got to do something on that heap of shit there, and I've still got one more thing I've got to do upstairs, so I'm kind of out of time on the old Area 51, unfortunately, for this weekend. This installing the air ride thing I thought was going to be like one video's worth, but I've just had heaps of other stuff on, heaps of things happening in the life, you know, and I still got to do exhaust for that and that. So yeah, we've got basically this whole video has been about putting these stupid compressors in and fighting all these things, all these little things that have kicked my ass today. I probably spent like 4 hours just to get those 2 compressors, and I think I spent less time painting this car. So yeah, there we have it. So let's get it out of here. So we've got tanks in, more mess, more shit to clean up. So probably a short and sweet video. I don't know what this kind of edit will turn into. Probably, yeah, I don't know, probably get about 4 views from the regular guys. Thanks guys. And speaking of which, thanks very much for watching and sticking with the channel. We've through the thick and thin, you know, the old first drive video did quite well, all being considered, all things considered, considering like my videos haven't been doing that great lately anyway. I think people, I just got sick of waiting. But these good things take time, and I'm only getting, if I'm lucky, a day a week on this thing. At the moment I've just got, you know, other projects, things I've got to do around the house, and there's neglected daily drivers and neglected bomb trucks and stuff like that, and I'm sure you don't want to watch me paint a wall in a bathroom. It's or try and sort out this shitbox Mazda. But yeah, so if you haven't subscribed and you want to see this thing, you know, going and driving and finished and stuff like that, follow along, like, share, comment. Let us know what you think about that fuse situation. I think it'll be alright, but you know, let us know if you got first world experience with that. I can't even remember a fuse thing in my old C15. I think it had a circuit breaker in it for something, but I didn't put that in, so I didn't really look into how it worked, because I didn't have a problem with that part of it, I think. But anyway, that's enough for today on this car anyway, and now I've got to go and pull the throttle body off that Mazda. Doing weird shit. It like revs up quite high when it's cold, and then it drops down and it's like real rough idle and stalls out and stuff, and did some interneting, and there was a service bulletin for those at about 100,000 K to clean the throttle body. So I just pulled the intake tube off and had a look, opened up the throttle body. It's got a lot of carbon and shit on the inside, so I'm going to have to pull that, give it a clean, and hopefully that helps with the situation. You know what I'm saying? Either that or it's off to pick apart. That leaks. It's soaked inside, man, that thing. Anyway, enough jibber jabber. Till next week. Take it easy and peace. Okay, just like PS, just cleaned the throttle body on the old Mazda 6, and I think I've fixed the problem. Maybe I should start a channel on fixing stupid little Japanese cars that have stupid little factory faults like that, because it takes me forever to put an air ride system in a car like that I already had mocked up, and it's yeah. Anyway, so Mazda seems to be going okay. Mazda going anyway. So see you next week.